Tramlines is an annual weekend music festival in Sheffield. This year it takes place from Friday the 21st to Sunday the 23rd of July. Sheffield Royal Society for the Blind provides opportunity, support, friendship and services to blind and partially sighted people in Sheffield City region, and we're a totally independent Sheffield charity. We have worked with Tramlines on this audio guide for the last 5 years. The aim of the guide is to give an overview of the festival for visually impaired festival goers, with useful information about travel, venues, recommendations and advice.
Hi, I'm Graham Marshall and I'm with Jane Peach and Alex Dedman down here at the Lead Mill. Hi there folks, you alright?
Very good,
yeah. And we're here for a special reason. Yes, it's that time again. It's time for Tramlines, believe it or not, and I'm scared how quickly it comes round. It's bizarre, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
But I like your new office, Alex, before we go any further. This is a bit posh, this, isn't it? It's nice.
It is very nice. It's nice and bright up here.
Yeah, you're in one of the more historic bits of the lead mill where famous people have had their offices and that in the past, aren't
I guess so. Or if you mentioned Peter Stringfellow.
Yeah, Peter Stringfellow was based here at one bit.
Yeah, so definitely this used to be Martin Bedford's office.
Yeah.
Because it's decorated with all his old posters.
Yeah.
And I believe in the room at the end there he had his screen printer there.
Right.
So he actually designed and printed the posters right here.
Fantastic.
To advertise the Lead Mill's gigs, and there's a load of them here, which we'll have to take some photos of.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's a spot-on place to do an interview. So we're right at the top of the building, we can look out over the whole of Sheffield here.
You can.
It's fantastic.
You can hear the trains, you can see Sheffield College over there.
Can't hear the trams going past though. That's the only thing that's ironic. It being a Tramlines festival, yeah.
That's true, but at least we can see them, and we can see the amphitheatre and Park Hill at the back there.
Yeah, that's great. So it's time for Tramlines. What weekend is it now? It's coming up very shortly.
It's the 21st to 23rd of July.
Yep, and it starts Friday afternoon, is it, or Friday evening?
It starts Friday evening, so late afternoon, Friday evening.
And then you've got the whole of Saturday and the whole of Sunday to go.
That's right.
And for those people who've never been to Tramlines, well, you've missed a treat, and it's been a real pleasure and an honour to see it develop over the years, because it's really, it started out fairly big on the very first time, didn't it? But of course it's it's grown even bigger now with the move to the Ponderosa and other stages, and of course lots of other venues that aren't directly attached to Tramlines also put events on for that weekend. So for music, that weekend is going to be absolutely fantastic for any genre of music,
That's
isn't
right.
it?
Absolutely anything.
And that's the beauty of Tramlines. It isn't genre specific, is it?
No, we try our best to cater for as much of different styles as we can.
Yeah. Now, the venues themselves, for those people who aren't familiar with it, there are some venues, the main venues that we're talking about here are the ones that are paid for collectively by having a wristband, aren't they?
Yeah, so Tramlines wristband, which costs £45, and it's still on sale, although I will warn you that numbers are dwindling. Yeah. So better move fast. That gets you access to all of our 3 big festival outdoor venues over the 3 days. Folk Forest at Endcliffe Park is Saturday, Sunday. Yep. And then Devonshire Green, which we brought back this year by public demand. Yeah. And the Ponderosa, the main stage, they're open Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So that's what your wristband gets you. And it's headliners like the Libertines, we've got Primal Screen, we've got Kano, we've got Toots and the Maytals, All Saints, Metronomy, and loads more. And there's actually 5 music stages, so you've got 3 main areas. At the main stage on Ponderosa, in addition to the main stage, we've got a brand new area called Into the Trees. Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah, so that's sort of dancey, daytime dancey, proper festival vibes. Yeah. People like Don Letts are playing there, and the Heat Wave. Yeah, it's been really good. And then there's a new bit which is actually going to be, we're going to do that at the O2 Academy. Which is the PRS Momentum stage. So this is artists that have been funded by the PRS to kind of give them a push. So really exciting. So is it new artists? Yeah, new breaking talent. And we're programming one of the days as Tramlines as well. But that's the place for your kind of hot up and coming stuff, and that's across the genres. You see, for the money, that's really good value, isn't it? When you think of all the options you've got there. I mean, we were looking into this the other day. The Libertines, to watch them in Newcastle a bit later in their tour. The ticket price is £49.
Yeah.
Just for them.
Yeah.
That's, I think, at the Academy up in Newcastle. So you can get everything. You can get 3 whole days of music. You can bring your kids free. So 11s and under are free. When you buy an adult ticket, you can register. I think if they're 5 or under, you don't need to bring a ticket for them. You can just bring them in.
Oh, that's amazing. And obviously there are other options with the tickets, because some people might not be able to get to the full 2.5 days, might they?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full weekend ticket. There aren't day tickets on sale, but that you can, for the after parties, you can dip into them as you choose.
With you.
So you can get a Saturday or a Friday after party ticket or a weekend one. And we've actually just announced that we're going to do an additional after party on the Sunday at Sheffield University Students' Union with Crazy P, and that's just a £5. I think it's £5.50 with the booking fee online.
No, that's
kind of nice to have it. Also, the Tramline staff like to have somewhere to go as well.
That's where they let the hair down at the end of it, is it?
That's right. Well, if we've got any left to let down.
Don't look at me like that.
I didn't mean it like that.
It's got a full head of hair.
I didn't mean it like that. I meant
it
that
makes
we'd
me
be
sick.
Exhausted.
I've chosen to cut my hair like this, honest.
Good. Right. We can swap one day. I'll make you a wig.
It's a lot more convenient. I don't have to use shampoo anymore. Just a flannel.
Excellent.
It's the way to do it. And so it's going to be an amazing event. There's obviously, you mentioned the 2 stages that have been added.
Yeah.
Has anything fundamentally changed? Because I know the Devonshire Green one was local music. Is it still going to be local music?
It's not. It's there are some local acts. So there's going to be. We've got Matic Mouth who opens it up on the Friday night, but then it's
mixed.
Also it's mixed. Yeah. So there's also full on. I think Alvarez Kings. I think they're
local.
I've
noticed that one. That's the one I'd like to see, definitely.
But then we've got also on that and MO, who are actually a big kind of R&B girl group who have some roots in Sheffield.
Yeah.
But then also on Devonshire Green you've got All Saints, definitely aren't locals. You've got Kano and the Far Side headlining on Friday, and then on the Sunday it's who have we got on Sunday? Ooh, we'll have to check into
Mike
that.
Hughes
Here we
Sunday, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And the Coral, and the Big Mood, and Lucy Spraggan.
Yeah, so it's quite a mixed bag there, really. I've noticed you've got some great names on at the Folk Forest as well this time. Neil McSweeney's a guy I always like to see sing. He's fantastic. Yeah. I don't know what it's. There's certain key singers in Sheffield that cut the mustard, you know what I mean? They're just that little bit special. And he's one of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's another artist I'm very interested in, Omar Soliman, who's playing at the Folk Forest. He's actually a Syrian performer, and he's kind of crossed over into the West. He did some remixes with Fortet and has become really, really big. He played at like the I think it's like the UN gig the other day, doing really big things. And he actually based in Syria, so it's quite nice to have a Syrian performer coming over to Tramlines to perform.
Definitely. So the actual Ponderosa, I know this is known to most people who are involved with Tramlines, but there will be some people out there listening to this who still aren't sure where the Ponderosa is. So very basically, I always think of it as behind the Tesco on Langsett Road. But you don't go to the Tesco unless you're going on the tram.
No.
But you can cut across from the university, can't you?
Yeah, that's right. There's a walking route, and you can come. It's about 10 minutes walk from the city centre.
Yeah.
You can get the tram, and there's a special offer. If you check on our website on the Getting Around tab, there's an offer from Supertram to get a festival rider, I think they call it. Yeah. I think you get off at Shalesmoor or Netherthorpe and just walk across. It's like a few minutes from the tram stop. But you can go around through the university concourse and up round the back there.
Yeah. But the tram's still there as well, which goes...
you got the tram. Yeah. We also have brought back the Buskers bus this year.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that because it was very popular. I remember going on it a few times. It gets a bit hectic on there, doesn't it?
Well, I've only ever seen the photos, Graham.
It's hectic. I would say if you're sight impaired, you would definitely need to have a helper with you on the Busker bus.
Right, yeah.
Because it does get jammed.
Good advice.
It's rammed, I would say. And in fact, on one occasion, I was in a group of three of us, and only one of us got on the bus and disappeared into the distance.
Right.
We never saw them again.
I see. Went off. Yeah, well, we're using that to connect the Ponderosa with the Folk Forest. Because they're both it's like on the outskirts of the city centre. So it's there's no easy. There is a mystical bus called, I think, the 10A, which I use sometimes, that does wind its way very slowly from around the Ponderosa down towards Endcliffe Park, but it's
but of course,
it's a very small bus, and it's not easy to find.
But let's not forget, because if people just need to nip to the folk forest, they can just jump on the normal buses, obviously.
If from town, it's very
from
easy.
town,
of course.
there's lots of buses go out to Endcliffe Park.
From Ponderosa to the folk forest, we've put on the bus.
No, that's fine.
Shuttling people backwards and forwards.
Yeah, so as well as that, there's street performance or street entertainment, shall we say, as well going on. Is that on Barker's Pool?
That's right, yes. You've got the street theatre from Professor Vanessa with all her fabulous performers. And then across the way, Peace Gardens, as usual, we've got sort of world music on Saturday and then the youth and community stage on Sunday. Yeah,
but of course those you can go to without the wristband.
That's right,
because those are part of the sort of fringe, if you like.
Yeah, that's right.
But they're part of it, but they're just slightly off at a tangent. I know that Carl's band are doing Sunday, aren't they, at about 4 o'clock? That's the Stars band.
That's right, yeah.
They're doing, I'm sure it's about 4 o'clock on the Sunday in the Peace Gardens.
Yeah, we've got another 3 groups from Under the Stars performing as well.
Right.
So there's the Sparkle Sisters. Yeah. There's Without Heads. And there's the Lawnmowers.
Right.
Lawnmower Men? No, the Lawnmowers.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, and loads of other really interesting stuff on that Sunday as well.
Well, they're doing really well. Of course, they've just celebrated Is it their 10th birthday, or is it the...
It's the 10th, that's
birthday,
Under the Stars nightclub,
that's right.
which happens here at the Lead Mill now, just on its 10th anniversary. Yeah, it's brilliant, really good event.
There are people with learning disabilities and their friends who get involved in that. And, of course, people like yourself and your dad have helped get the old music side of it going, as well as other people. But it's good to see a band made up totally of people with learning disabilities, and they're making a pretty good sound as well. Yeah, well, they rehearse the Friday group, which is our longest running music group, is Chris Morris and Mooney Wainwright. I've never mentioned. They're the guys who've done most of the music with them. Right, with you. And Mooney's rehearsing a lot with the Stars band. Sort of every day they go off and do every Friday they go off and do their thing, and they just get better all the time. That's the thing I like about it. There's a total variety of stuff out there, and I know that, the big stuff is fantastic, but every now and then you just need like an half hour's break sort of thing. Well, my tip is just nip through Leopold Square and pick up a bit of jazz. Right. And, it just chillaxes you a little bit, and then you can off up Division Street and back into the fray again, you know what I mean? This is the beauty of a city centre festival, that you can dip in and out a bit, and it's not like Glastonbury where you're there and that's it, and there's no escape. And I think this is why we're particularly good for families. If you want a proper, real festival experience, which is what it is, but you also want to nip home if you've forgotten a nappy or something like that. Yeah, you can easily do it. Or if you want a bit of quiet space, you can go off somewhere else. Now, support for disabled people, because obviously that's what this particular recording's aimed at particularly. You've got certain help points, haven't you, around the place where people can get advice and what have you. But also this. I'm trying to think what the other bit is. We've got a disability viewing platform. That's the one. Yeah, the viewing platform at the main stage. Yeah. That's the best critical. Seat in the house. Yeah, it is. I use them. I take advantage of that at any festivals I go to. They've usually now got a viewing platform for disabled people generally. Yeah. And that does include people who are sight impaired, because obviously they can be quite vulnerable in a large crowd. Yeah. So that's a really good inclusion. And I must admit, I've seen the photos. I've not been to the main stage, but it's an amazing stage there, isn't it? It's the business. It really is something else. Yeah. So get on the website, and that's the other thing. The website is accessible if people are using screen readers. I use a screen reader myself, and I found most of the aspects of the website pretty accessible, and they've still got all the pictures in there for people who can see something. Yeah. So it's not just a disabled website. It's great as a website, but it is accessible for people with screen readers. Good. Well, we've had feedback from Jane and yourself, and tried to make sure we've got that. It just needs to be really simple, and that kind of ticks the boxes for everybody, because there's quite a lot of information, so we want it to be presented in a really clear way. Yeah, that's right. And we were mentioning that there is a concession for people who take their guides, isn't there, Jane?
Yeah, apparently the application for the carers passes or any disabled access for the festival, the deadline's going to be the 10th of July. Yeah, so it's cutting it a bit fine at the moment.
But providing the application is in for the 10th, then you would get a free ticket for the guide.
That's right.
So the person who's got the disability pays the full whack, but then they get the guide in free of charge, which does make life a lot easier, I must admit. Because obviously you can imagine, like myself, I've got some sight, so I would probably be able to mooch around a bit on my own.
Yeah.
But I would say someone who's got no sight
Yeah.
would need help around Tramlines, because it is so popular and so busy
Yeah.
that it's quite a complex thing to navigate if you can't see what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I would also, in fact, to be honest, I would also recommend people go with their mates anyway.
Yeah.
You know, rather than potter around with your guide dog or whatever.
Yeah.
If you can get friends to take you, that's all the better.
Yeah.
Not always possible, but at least if you can't get that, you need to know that the main sort of axis is going up sort of from the town centre up past Division Street and heading out past the university and into Ponderosa Park. It's
That's
like
right.
a U-shaped shape, the actual festival itself, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Right, well, that's really good. Have you got any specific recommendations yourself?
Ooh,
Bands
I
that you'd
haven't.
really
I'd
like people to
It's
see?
aren't people I will necessarily get to see, but
Yeah.
I would like to. Certainly, I mentioned Omar Solomon. I'd like to see him.
Yeah.
There's another one at the Folk Forest, Jalen and Gonda, which is kind of alternative soul. I quite like that. And then we haven't really talked about the after parties. So obviously
Yeah, that's
where
right,
I tend to come alive a bit. Then. I save some energy.
Yeah. And you've got 3 kids as well, and you still manage to get to the after parties.
Well, I
That's
have to
some
DJ
good.
at them. That's
Oh,
my, that's
right,
my
you've
job.
got an excuse
It's
then.
work, Greg.
Oh, yeah, 'cause it
Hard,
is, yeah, 'cause
very
it is, yeah.
taxing work. I quite like Deneo and Fuse ODG. They're kind of UK urban artists. Mike Skinner from the Streets.
Yep.
DJ set. For me, being a sort of drum and bass fan, DJ Markey and DJ Zinc and Kenny Ken. Excuse me, who are playing throughout the festival. Locals like Andy H. You can check out my lot, the Junglist Alliance, as well. Let's get a little plug in there.
Yeah, why not?
Giles Peterson.
Yeah.
And then Sister Bliss from Faithless, who's doing a DJ set, which is really quite special. It's not often that happens.
Sounds really good. Yeah, what
Two
about
Bad Mice for your old school ravers.
What was
Off
that
Me
again?
Nut, Two Bad Mice.
Right.
Old school ravers.
Yeah.
And then Off Me Nut Records and all their entourage are going to be there too.
Yeah. That's
So
fantastic.
much. But do have a look at the after party. There's a kind of mini site on the website for after parties, and all the artists are on there.
Yeah, sounds good. How about you, Jane? Are you going this year?
Yes, yeah.
I thought you would be.
Yeah. So a few just to pick out, there's loads, but and also I like to try and see some things that I don't know, some bands that I don't know as well, just from recommendations. But Primal Scream, obviously, Farside, Metronomy, Don Letts, Mike Skinner that you've just mentioned, and hopefully go and see Mike Hughes as well when he's playing. So yeah, they're just a few of the ones that I'm
sounds good.
going to.
I mean, I like to see bands like the Alvarez Kings. That's one that's on the short list. The SSS, they're appearing at the festival. I think they're on
I think
Devonshire.
they're together with that.
Are they on the same stage?
I think
at some point?
Alvarez Kings are on Devonshire Green. I think.
Yeah.
Let me just check.
I think
that out.
SSS are as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have a look.
But obviously I've got lots of mates in the music game who are at the Fringe events.
Yeah.
So obviously there is a guide to Fringe events that's available as well via Exposed magazine, aren't
Yeah,
there?
you can. Yeah, you can find that.
But there's lots. I think every venue that puts on music in Sheffield will have something going on. That's how it was the last few years, wasn't it? And obviously, I've got mates who are in the game. So I mean, obviously, there's an event for heavy rockers, and it will be pretty heavy, I reckon. That's down at the Three Cranes, and also the Dove and Rainbow, as usual. So if you're into the extreme metal and the heavy rock, those are the two venues to hit first.
Thanks for the tip.
If you want the old eardrums exploding or whatever, take your ear protectors, I must say. I've got to say that to people because you've got to protect your ears. But I've seen some cracking bands in those sort of venues. And it's not always what you might expect. I remember once being dragged along to see a Finnish death metal, stoner metal band, that was it.
Right.
Upstairs at Three Cranes as it happens. I'm thinking, do I really want to go and see that? I'll drag myself along and see what they're like. They were amazing, absolutely amazing.
Brilliant.
And at one point, the guy, the main singer, seemed to be worshipping his mixer desk for some unknown reason, but it was just completely out there, but full on and joyous. I think that's the only word for it.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
And I didn't expect that. I went there with sort of the with poor expectations and has proven wrong, you know.
Good.
So yeah, I think that's the beauty of any of these festivals. Check stuff out.
Yeah, and we do our best to kind of portray what's going to happen in advance. But it is so broad and it's quite personal, your own experience of it, that it's hard to know until you come. And we really like that kind of discovery aspect to it. That
definitely.
You can come
Well, I like everything from that sort of level, although I can't really take it these days because I struggle a little bit with the noise now because of my age, you know. It's like you get to a certain point. But I go everything from the heavy rock right down to the folk stuff.
Yeah.
And even some obscure stuff that is difficult to actually genre-rise, if you like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there's always something for everybody there.
Yeah.
They did used to have a little stage near where the old Wapentake was, didn't they, at one point? That's gone now, hasn't it, on that car park behind there?
There has been in the past,
Yeah, I think that one's not on the list anyway. That was also sort of fringe type event anyway. But there is plenty to go out there, I guarantee you.
Yeah.
And best thing is to take your mates.
Take your mates, get a wristband sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
because
that's
don't want
true.
anyone to be disappointed.
Yeah. Well, thanks for chatting to me. Is there anything else you got to add to that, Jane?
There was just we were going to read the bit out about the guide dogs advice.
Oh, yeah, that's the point. I forgot about that. Yeah, guide dog owners, obviously, they also will be concerned about what to do with the dogs, should they leave them at home or what have you. What's the official line from the Guide Dogs Association?
Yeah, so we had a statement from them, which we've read out before, but it's worth just mentioning again. So the guide dog owner should be able to make the decision about taking their dog, but needs to consider the environment is appropriate for the dog and the length of time that they intend to stay at the event. You should think about an appropriate spending area so that the dog can relieve itself, and the water should be available at all times. If the weather's hot, you will need to think about shade for the dog. You will need to take some time out to rest. And it just says that if in doubt, then you should speak to your guide dog mobility instructor.
I'm in full agreement with that. And obviously you need to be considerate of other people's needs as well, because obviously if you go to somewhere like the Ponderosa, even though you want to get shade under the trees and everything, you need to make sure your dog spends in the appropriate areas down there, because people will be wanting to sit on the grass as well, including the guide dog owners, you know what I mean. But to be honest, most guide dog owners that I know are pretty responsible. They've had the training, they know what they're supposed to do. My thoughts are, I just think they'd enjoy it more with the mates, even if they take the guide dog along. It's a community thing. It's all, I mean, Sheffield's really come to the forefront with this, but it's all about getting out there with your chums, meeting up with new chums, and I think that's where it's at. You could go with your guide dog on your own, but I would say go with friends, personally. That's my tip. Right, well, thanks once again, Alex. Can't wait now. I'm really juiced up for it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great festival.
I am too.
Hope and pray the weather's good, because the Ponderosa in good weather is the ultimate venue for these sort of festivals. I've been to a couple of pieces in the parks down there in the past, and it's been just absolutely glorious. So fingers, toes and everything crossed for that. But even if the weather's a bit changeable, just get down there and enjoy it. No, that's right. And it's summer anyway. You're not going to die of hypothermia, are you?
No, if you do get wet, just nip over.
That's right, and get your raincoat and come back.
Exactly.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank
Cheers.
you very much.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.